Hey guys, Roughman82 here with Girl Meets World and Fuller House's spin-offs doing so well. I got to thinking, what other shows should have a spin-off or a reboot? So I'm going to give you the shows that I think that should be spun off or have a reboot. Now these shows have already ended, and one show that is still currently on the air but should definitely have a spin-off later on. I won't be reviewing the shows, but just giving my thoughts on why it should have a spin-off. So, let's get started. The first show is Home Improvement. Now, this show was great with Al Borland and all the characters, and it was just phenomenal how everyone got together. But at the end of the series, they all departed different ways. Now, I would like to see what each character is up to these days, and see what Al, who has a fat mother Borland, is up to. Does he have kids now, or does he host Tool Time? Who knows? I would like to find out those answers. So that's one of those shows. Now, this show was classic. It didn't end too long ago, about 10 years ago. Is Everybody Loves Raymond. Now, the show was amazing. I just loved it. All the jokes, all the humor, and all of the crazy antics they got into. I would just love to see the show spun off because there's just so many great moments in the show. Now, on to PBS. Zoom. Zoom should be spun off, but in now a more technical side to things. It shouldn't have, email, webmail, this stuff anymore. They should try to change it up, but kind of still have the same basic fun with it. Which brings me to my next show, Fetch with Rough Ruffman. Now, this show was my favorite show, and it ended because, well, they ran out of funding. Now, the show did get canceled unfairly because they didn't know their funding, but there's other things that have been rumored to why it's ended. But it should definitely be spun off. However, now this could be a fun thing. What if the next host for Fetch is actually Ruff's son? This could be interesting. Now, I know the show is still somewhat on the air, but not totally. To me, it's over because they completely destroyed it now, is Bob the Builder. You can check out my review on my channel of the new one as well as the old one, but the old Bob the Builder should be brought back. And scrap the new one. And maybe a Thomas and Bob crossover. In Magnetic Lofty, they did tear up the train tracks that were in Bobsville. So maybe those tracks actually led to Sunflower Valley and the island of Sodor? Maybe. That would be interesting. Now, the show, the Berenstain Bears, runs in books, but I still think it should be brought back because basically they brought in a new character to the books, Honey Bear. So I want to see what this character's up to, and basically in live action. I think it would be kind of fun to see her part of the family and how Sister Bear reacted to her coming to the family. And I think that would be just something fun to see on TV again, and it was a great show. Now, basically, Disney Channel has some great shows as well. Now, one of the shows that isn't really well known, but was popular, was In a Heartbeat. Now, this show only lasted for a season. It was about a group of high school EMTs, and I just loved seeing the show, and I thought it was very cool and very interesting, and how they got along and everything. And I actually love seeing kids do things like Man vs. Child, or in Guys Grocery Games, they had a cooking with kids that is great. It's incredible to see what they can do. So definitely it should make a comeback. The next show would be Recess. I love this show. Now, Miss Finster, all the characters were great. Everything was fantastic. Now, basically, this could be brought back in several ways with the old characters, or maybe TJ grown up as an adult. Now, that would be kind of cool. Then his son or daughter could maybe go to 3rd Street School and explore some of the stuff that DJ and his friends did as well. Now, the next show is Sweet Life. Now, I know they did Sweet Life on deck after Sweet Life with Zach and Cody, but still, what is Dylan and Cole Sprouse up to now that they can't do a reunion or something? I would love to see if London Tipton is able to manage the Tipton, or if she got it from her father. I would love to see how it's changed and what's actually Mr. Mosby's doing, Arwen, everybody. I think it would be a great show to spin off. Maybe not right now, but definitely Disney, think about it in the future. The next show is Cory in the House. Now, I would say the show would need to be revamped totally. The concept was there with the president, but why not have the kid be president? Now, they did some things that I did not like. I'm not going to go into it, but they need to make it towards fun, not where they went with Cory just living in the White House. They really didn't spend a lot of time in the White House. And if they did, it was the president being goofy. I don't want to see the adult president. Yeah, I know I'm getting into this, but let's just stick with maybe a kid president in there. And I could see this show a revival or something happening for Cory in the house. But maybe not the characters, or maybe a new show based on it. Now let's get to Nickelodeon. Drake and Josh. Now, I was a fan of the show, but I know some others that are, and the show would be kind of cool to see, or maybe come back, and maybe a crossover with iCarly would be kind of cool, or all dance shows would be kind of cool to have a crossover between all the Dan Snyder shows, Kenan Kel, Drake and Josh, Zoe 101, all those good shows, man, that would be awesome. Now, iCarly back should be spun off because iCarly ended with all the gang splitting up. So there should definitely be a reunion later on. And this show was great. And I want to see if Freddie actually became a producer, director, whatever he wanted to do. And maybe, who knows, Sam's in juvie now? I don't know. I know she lived with Kat, so who knows what could have happened there. Because Kat is kind of strange. Now, with the next show I'm going to bring up is Victorious. The show did get canceled a little unfairly, so I would love to see a reunion with that, and I think this show would definitely be possible to bring back. Now, before I get into the last cartoon, I'm going to go into the show that I think that should be brought back much later on, that's still going on the air, and that is Henry Danger. Now, this show is great, but I got to thinking about this show. What if Henry ran the man cave instead of Ray and / Captain Man? So this show could be possibly explored many years later, and after Ray leaves as a superhero, Henry is a sidekick, so this could happen. I would love to see the show come back later on. The show's doing very well. It's entering its 3rd season soon, and they're already in production with a small hiatus due to Cooper having a child now, so there's a little hiatus with that, as well as Jace filmed Rufus 2. But this show should definitely come back for in the future, probably give it 10-15 years, it should come back, like they did the time capsule, which I do agree should be continued. Now, the final show that should make a reboot, and that is rumored, is Rugrats. Now, this show is amazing. Babies and everything was just amazing. The whole show, Angelica Orders Out, is one of my favorite episodes, and the show just was to die for. The characters were great. Now, this could be brought back a few different ways too, them still as babies, but I was thinking I would like to see it brought back as they're adults now, having their own babies. That could be interesting to see how it's taken on. Well, That's what I think that should come back. So let me know what you think. What show should come back? Was I wrong? Was I right? Let me know in the comment section. Ruffman Fan 882 out, and don't forget to subscribe.